Hey, it's Casey. This is Real Talk. This one's more personal than usual. So give yourself a minute with it. You loved him at his worst. You believed in him when no one else did. You stayed when everyone around you had already quietly given up. You held the vision of who he could be so clearly, so consistently, that you kept loving that version of him even on the days when he showed you someone completely different, and he left anyway. Or he stayed, and nothing changed. Or he finally got his life together, became the man you always knew he could be, and then he left. If any version of that sounds familiar, this is for you. So what does being the fixer actually look like? You date emotionally unavailable men and try to reach them. Men with no direction and try to inspire them. Men carrying addiction, anger, unprocessed wounds and try to absorb enough of their pain that they might finally be okay. Underneath all of it is a belief you've probably never said out loud. If I just love him enough, he'll change. He won't. Not because of anything you did or didn't do, but because change is an inside job, and it only happens when someone decides they want it for themselves. Regardless of who is watching or waiting or hoping on their behalf, what makes this pattern so hard to see from the inside is that it looks like love. It feels like love. The devotion is real. The belief in him is genuine. You are not foolish for having it. You are doing what you were built to do. Why do you do it? This pattern doesn't come from nowhere. Most fixers learned the role early. You were the caretaker growing up, the one who kept the peace, read the room, made sure everyone was okay before you thought about yourself. You got good at it, exceptionally good. And love, somewhere along the way, became synonymous with being needed, with being the person who could see someone's potential and stay long enough to help them reach it. Neurologically, that's worth understanding. When you bond with someone who is emotionally inconsistent, present sometimes, withdrawn others, occasionally the man you know he can be, your brain's dopamine system goes into overdrive. The unpredictability doesn't dampen the attachment, it intensifies it. The same way intermittent rewards create stronger behavioral loops than consistent ones. Inconsistent love creates stronger bonding than stable love does. You're not weak for finding it hard to leave. You're chemically tethered to the cycle, and underneath the neuroscience, there's usually something quieter and harder to name. A belief absorbed slowly from early experiences that you don't quite deserve a man who is already whole, so you choose broken. Because fixing feels like earning. Because if you can help him become who he's capable of being, maybe then the love will feel like something you actually deserved, rather than something that was just given to you. I spent a long time not recognizing this in myself. The fixer doesn't think of herself as someone with low self. She thinks of herself as someone with high capacity. And she's right, she does have high capacity. The question is what she's using it for, and why does it never work? You cannot love someone into therapy. You cannot motivate someone into ambition. You cannot heal wounds that were never yours to carry. And while you're focused on fixing him, 3 things are happening simultaneously that are worth naming clearly. He never faces the natural consequences of his own choices because you're there absorbing them. You lose yourself incrementally, your needs, your time, your sense of who you are outside of this relationship, until one day you look up and realize you've organized your entire life around someone else's becoming, and resentment builds quietly at first, then not quietly at all, because you are giving in a direction that isn't giving back. The women I know who've been caught in this pattern are almost always the most capable, most loving, most generous people in any room, and they are exhausted. Not because they lack strength, because they've been spending their strength in a place that cannot receive it. He gets his life together. He does the work, becomes the man you always knew was in there. And then he leaves because he outgrew the version of himself that needed you. Because the relationship was built on a dynamic that could only exist while he was broken. Because who he's becoming doesn't need a fixer anymore. You were a stepping stone, not a partner. That realization is one of the most painful things a woman can sit with. And it's also one of the most clarifying, because it names what was missing from the beginning. Not love, not effort, not belief. What was missing was mutuality. Someone who chose you not because you were useful to his healing, but because you were someone he wanted to build something equal with. That's what you were actually looking for. And it was never going to be found in someone who needed saving first. So what changes when you stop? You don't break this pattern by simply choosing differently on the outside, by making a rule that you'll only date men who have their lives together. Rules don't touch the belief underneath. What actually changes things is the slower, less visible work of understanding why broken felt like home, why you were more comfortable being needed than being chosen, why a man who showed up whole and steady might have felt, at first, almost boring, because there was nothing to fix. No crisis to navigate, no version of him to believe in harder than he believed in himself. When you do that work, genuinely, not just intellectually, what you're available for changes. You stop being drawn to potential and start being drawn to presence. You stop auditing his growth and start noticing whether you feel safe. You stop asking who could he become and start asking who is he, right now, consistently, when there's nothing at stake. And the man who answers that question well, the one who shows up already whole, who takes accountability without being asked, who is self-aware and actively growing and genuinely interested in you, rather than in being rescued by you, that man stops feeling like settling, starts feeling like what you should have been looking for all along. This pattern feels familiar. Understanding what your brain does in attachment and why certain dynamics feel like home even when they're hurting you is where the real shift starts. There's a guide for that. Links in the description. This is KC from Love and Life. If this found you at the right time, a like helps it find someone else too. And if you want to catch the next one, subscribing means you won't miss it. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'll see you next time.